So let's just settle into our meditation posture. The camera. Oh, yeah. And just check your body. Try and bring your mind to the same place your body is. And whatever is going on for you, whatever is coming up, whatever is arising, just know. Well, first of all, know that it's going to be temporary. It doesn't define you necessarily if it's something that's uncomfortable. And it's all okay. However you're showing up tonight is okay. So check the body, particularly that your shoulders are aligned with your hips and that you have a nice long spine. So stretching from the base, this string of pearls of light all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So you can imagine somebody's above you very gently lengthening the spine, putting some space in between your vertebrae. Making you a little bit longer, a little bit taller. And then from the top of the neck, sort of where the back of the skull, very base of the skull, you just tip your head forward slightly, hinge it forward, and then eyes down, relaxing the jaw. And bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp, and then just go down through your body, your face, the back of the head and the neck. Just release any tension in your shoulders, shoulder blades, relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs and your appendages, your hands and fingers and feet and toes. And then bring the mind back to the breath, just remembering and noticing the sensation of the air as you're breathing in and out. Just become aware of it. I don't know if you do this, but sometimes I think when I'm concentrating or when I'm working on the computer, I sort of forget to, I stop breathing. Or I'm still breathing, obviously, but I'm not breathing normally. Maybe not in a way that's great for the body. It's good to remember the breath. If there are any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to follow them with your mind, investigating what's going on. Just bring the mind back to the breath. And then you can, again, have a look at what's going on inside your mind. What's arising for you right now. So just allow it to arise. It can be like an objective observer. Just noticing. Not judging, not being critical, not having opinions. Just see what's there. It's good to see what's there. We don't want it to catch us by surprise. And then think of all the people of your life. And there's these ones in our life who we are, we're very, very fond of. We have much love for. We have profound relationships with these people, very deep. Some are incredibly strong karmic connections. And then there's those people, also karmic connections, but not so comfortable for us. And then there's those strangers in the car park, in the car, in the grocery store. We touch base with them for such a short amount of time. remember, every person that you meet, you will have some kind of an impact on. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension all sentient beings, but also for ourselves as we're moving along our spiritual path. So this practice, we like to remember there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And I think we forget that sometimes. But it's good to remember. And this purification is a psychological one, so we can deal with it. We create negativity with our mind, and we can just as easily create positivity with our mind. It's just a different angle. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you've done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all future lives. And the reason we're regretting is based on this logic of karma. So everything we experience in our life, where we live, what we eat, the air we breathe, who we meet, is depending on our past actions, our past karma. And it ripens in certain ways. So if we're experiencing some negative karma and it's causing us suffering, we might want to recognize that it's not about beating ourselves up, it's just about being realistic, a little bit pragmatic. And then just think, well, I want to pull out these karmic seeds before any more suffering ripens for me in the future. Let's just get rid of those weeds now. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And so we also regret any anger and attachment and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And just think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, okay, so what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to rely upon Buddha Vajrasattva. And we see him rather than a higher power who is like a creator or someone who actually has some kind of control. We see him more as like a doctor who's got medicine. So this method that he has, we can use as medicine for us. And so visualize Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can also imagine this is your teacher, or your Lama, your trusted mentor, your spiritual friend. That's the mind of that person manifesting in this form for your benefit. So Vajrasattva is made, facing the same way as you, and is made of blissful, radiant white light. You're sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like our delusions, just like our enlightenment, born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. So Vajrasattva has his beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long. They're shaped like lotus petals. And they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this is symbolizing enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we think about compassion here. So we need to, it's also part of reliance. We need to rely upon other sentient beings so we can develop compassion. So we start by thinking of the people that maybe we've harmed. So just have a sense in your heart, a wish for them to be free from suffering. And then we can think of the people who have harmed us. And this might be a bit difficult because we probably have angst in our heart towards them, resentment, anger. But rather than that, try and, or maybe as well as, if you can't get rid of it all immediately, and that's okay too, try and, even if this is just an intellectual idea and you can't quite bring it into your heart just yet, but how would it feel perhaps if instead of anger, you felt compassion for your harmers? And because it doesn't make any difference to them. The person it affects is you. So we try and change our mind so we can heal ourselves. It doesn't change what they did, that it was wrong. But what it does is it changes our own psychology, our own heart. If we're running around with bitterness in our heart, it's going to make you unwell. It's going to harm you. So we have the power to decide how it is we want to think and feel. And it does take time, but we can do it. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. So we start with the body, and we imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately, very happily sends powerful white nectar, almost like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And this arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Hanarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabala mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. And so you can be delighted that any harm you've done to any sentiment with your body is completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. So the next is a purification of the speech, and Vajrasattva now very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. Again, and it arcs around, enters your crown and fills your entire being, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativities of your speech. So this is our harsh speech and lying and gossiping and this kind of careless speech and talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. And, we don't go around, necessarily beating people up and killing things, but we are sometimes, I think, a little careless with what comes out of our mouth. So that's always a good thing to work on, to try and control our speech. So you can just imagine that all the negativities of your speech, if you've harmed anyone with your speech, or if anyone has been harmed as a result of something that you've said, this can be purified by this mantra and the nectar. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe. So you again feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified and think there's no way you could do anything other than be a benefit to others now with your speech. So everything that comes out of your mouth that's heard by another sentient being, another human, another animal, another insect, and by yourself is a benefit. And it would take quite some discipline. So we'll get there eventually. So next is a purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends light this time from his heart. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you just flick on a switch. That light instantly dispels the darkness. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your depression and attachment and anger and neediness and bitterness and grudges, jealousies, all of this completely disappears with this light and this mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa siti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabala mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabala mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabala mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabala mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabala mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabala mahasamaya sata aham pe. So again, be so delighted that all your delusions and recognizing that these are what cause us suffering. It's nothing else. And it's also what causes us to harm others with our body and our speech. Are completely purified, they're gone. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and compassion and forgiveness and kindness and wisdom and bliss. So the next is a purification of the imprints, just even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So you can imagine light and nectar this time pouring in, filling you completely, and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabala mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabala mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabala mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabala mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabala mahasamaya sata aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabala mahasamaya sata aham pe. So now feel you are completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. even the subtlest imprints or obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So next is a power of resolve. And this is the fourth and a really crucial step in the purification process. This is the determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind. Well, at least to refrain from doing that. So without this, we're going to keep falling into the same old patterns, the same old habits, because we're human. We have karmic imprints. So we just think of something that we want to work on. And wherever it is you have been working on, maybe you can increase the timeline. Maybe you can think of some different angle. Maybe you've discovered something recently that you do that's harmful that you weren't aware of. So just whatever it is that works for you, and just, you know, something not too overwhelming. Something that you can manage. Maybe you don't want to be as reactive to things. So just even saying, making a wish for that, you've even started the process. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into your crown. Just kind of dissolves into you, and you can think, my guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. And then we have this little meditation on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while, so we can think that perhaps the way we are viewing the world may not be the way it actually exists. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. The wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparable kind, Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lamas of Rinpoche, Hu tub shu chang shin jam gon Galloway, Tenzin kyang pelway, Kunzo dog porze, chog sum kurwe leg mon to drub, pa dag sog dulje, kondu jab ten shog. Lama Ursula, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds out of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe-Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Gosh, it goes so fast, doesn't it? Oh, well. I feel like my life is going like this. Okay, everybody, lots of love. I think tomorrow morning we might do a little meditation on emptiness. Actually, Michael said he wanted to do a bit of that in our... Yeah, everyone seems to want to do a bit. That's amazing. I'm always amazed that everyone loves to do that. Okay, it's great. Well, that's what we'll do. All right. So sleep well, everybody. Lots of love. And I'll see some of you tomorrow morning. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mary, for hosting.